Hello, my name is Resilan, and welcome to Satisfactory. It is a new day in Satisfactory, and we're going to go take a look at our new oil refinery and a process that we set up in order to do the next phase of our unlock the next items that we have. So I've been working on a road that would take me out to where my steel factory is and where the oil factory is that I have built. So we're going to go take a look at that, and we'll take a look at the road as we go. So this goes across this entire biome at this point in time. I will eventually put lane markings on this once I have enough of the unlocks in order to be able to do that. But for today, it's just the concrete. These are the actual fix-it blocks. I will probably put down concrete on some of the things, turn it into a proper highway, at least for my lane markings. This will probably also be the route that I use with my train, so I'll probably have a route for trucks and then another route for trains. I will be setting up sometime soon. I will be setting up a bus stop on each, or a truck stop on each end, to bring the items that I'm making on this end back over to my storage building. We will need to expand our storage building. We will need some additional storage, so we'll build a truck stop over there so that I can bring items in, drop them off, so that I don't have to go all the way to the other side of this. I just saw a slug up against one of those things. So the road is coming across here. We can see the building here, my steel factory, over to our left a little bit as I continue to make my way down this highway that I have built. No major or too abrupt transitions. So, like I said, we will hope to build our train tracks down through here as well. I did build an area up here that goes up to the factory up above, and then the highway itself and the trains that I'm going to do, I have a highway that comes underneath here. So I built the road up underneath the steel plant. And as I come out up here on the left hand side, we can see the brand new factory that we have built up here for doing our initial oil processing. So we are using, so as we come in here, you can see underneath there is a oil refinery that there's actually two of them under there. And if I get out of here, and we'll start underneath with what we're going to look at here. So we can see that there's an oil factory there, or an oil refinery there, I should say. Not a refinery, there's an oil extractor. I'll get the terminology correct here in a minute. And then I've got an oil extractor here. We see the white little bar on the top of it. I do have this overclocked at 150%, and I'm pulling out 90 oil per minute. So this, keep in mind, this one of the things that you have in the starting point of this particular tier is you have a challenge in that you have limited options for what you can do with the byproducts that are produced by creating, by refining the oil. So we're pulling the oil out and we're sending it up, and you can see there that I've got the oil coming up here into my factory. So we'll come up here, we can look around at the factory in here. And then over here inside the factory, the oil comes up in here and it feeds into 4 refineries. These refineries, 2 of them are producing plastic at 75% each, and 2 of them are producing rubber at 75% each. So we'll climb up on top of this. This will make it easier to see the factory and what's taking place up here. So we can come across here. So these are my refineries that are processing the crude oil. From the crude oil, as you can see here, I'm getting either rubber or plastic, and I'm getting heavy oil residue. So the heavy oil residue goes out into this pipeline and feeds into a single refinery over here, which is overclocked at 1.125%, and that is converting the heavy oil residue into petroleum coke. I am then taking the petroleum coke and I am feeding that into 4 generators. Now 4 generators is not enough to burn off. There's 135 petroleum coke per minute being produced, and I'm only getting these refineries here are only burning 120 of it. I decided not to overclock them. It just, what I instead did was I split out over here. And if we come up here, we can see that I have a smart splitter here, and so I send all the petroleum coke down into my coal generators until there's an overflow, and then I send the overflow over to the awesome sink so that it just burns off the excess. The idea here is I am getting rid of all the byproducts so that this plant runs at 100%. Now the 4 coal generators are producing 300 megawatts of power, and the total power consumption of this plant is 272.6 megawatts of power, leaving me in the positive for power, but just barely. The resources that are coming out here is I have 60 plastic and 60 rubber per minute that are going into a container here. Once the container fills up, the excess will be routed in the resource sink, just like or the awesome sink, like I do all the other items. But for now, I'm just putting these in here. This is going to give me the items that I need in order to unlock the next tier. So while we're here, we're going to grab 200 plastic. We are going to grab 200 rubber. We can get the motors over at the other plant. So that is the setup there. Now the one thing that I will tell you is I had to produce that we need water for those coal generators. The water is coming from over here. The best way to do this, I think, is to just fly. So I can kind of show you this over here. I routed the water a long way. It comes over here, it runs up this cliff face, and it's coming all the way over there and halfway across that biome. I ran power over there. I overclocked that particular water extractor so that it would at 135%, so that it would produce enough water to power to feed the water needed into all 4 of these coal generators up here. So quite a pipeline for the water, but I did get it up here, and we now are producing the items that we need in order to do a lot of the tier 5 and tier 6 unlocks. So at this point in time, we will head back over across to our base. And we are back at our base. So we will park the car here, and then we need to get a few motors so that we can unlock the next item. Now I do have some motors that are sitting here in a box. We are going to grab these motors and get them out of this box. That will be, how many more motors do I need? That gives me 78, and I need 100 to unlock this, plus we need some wire. So we will come over here now and grab enough motors out of this box to finish this process. So that'll give me 100 motors, and we need 1,000 cable. So over here into the storage building, right down here to the cable. That's going to be 200, 300. That should be enough, and we will have enough left over so that we still have some in our inventory for the next thing we build. So at the end of this episode, we are going to unlock industrial manufacturing. This is the next item. So there are the motors, there's the plastic, there's the rubber, there's the cable. And we are going to send the lifter up to space. This
a critical look at production line logistics and efficiency is recommended during integration. The truck allows for increased efficiency in transportation, automated or otherwise. New project parts enable progress to the next phase.
Alright, and we also unlocked the item that we need for the space elevator for the next phase, the modular engines, or at least one of the items that we need. I'm not sure exactly which one we have, but we definitely have some new items. While that's off, we will come in here and decide what we are going to do next. So one of the things we could do is the alternative fuel transport, or we could do the expanded power infrastructure. Now in this case, one of the things that I really care about is this expanded power infrastructure. We have the capability of producing the heavy modular frames. I think we have the capability of doing the computers now. I think that was in here. Yes, the computers are in here. So the expanded power infrastructure is our next project. Now we will need heavy modular frames and computers in order to do this. We've got the encased frames, we've got the rubber being produced, but this will give me the Mark IV conveyor belts, which will be a good thing to have for when I'm doing, bringing in items, but it also gets the fuel generator. And then I think the next thing I want is the pipeline engineering Mark II. So I'm going to do them in that order. I'm going to do this one and then this one. That way I can start preparing what I need. And this, since I'm going to build a large fuel generation plant, I want to be able to have the expanded power infrastructure as part of what I do there. I don't think I need the alternative fluid transport yet, but if I decide that I do need that, I can build that while we are doing the other thing. Now this is just packaging stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you're enjoying the video series, guys, just seeing how I'm building, how my game is progressing. I'm having a lot of fun with this. So if you're enjoying the videos, please leave a like. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see other things or see part of the build process or other ideas or suggestions that you might have. And if these videos come out every week on Sunday, if you want to be notified when the new video is available, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks a lot and take care.